Lord, please forgive my sins. No matter how much trouble I get in, would you promise to forgive me if I never do it again? Lord, please forgive me. Lord, please bless me and always protect me. Deliver me from all of these evil spirits trying to get me. Lord, please forgive my sins. No matter how much trouble I get in, would you promise to forgive me if I never do it again? Lord, please forgive me.
Can I testify? Because we come to church all the time and we hear preachers preach, and a lot of times we leave out because we don't see the manifestation of the miracles. But something happened to us 86 days ago. Come on. And if I can, I'd like to share it.
Oh, what is up, Straight Talk Society? This is your host, Trevor, and I am back. Finally, man, we are finally back. Keela, let me know if you can hear me, because this cat of mine's been running around, messing around with my mixing board, and I can't even hear myself. So I'm just going to go by with what the chat says. But we are finally back, man, after taking a few months off. Okay, loud and clear. I appreciate that. Shout out to the greatest moderator in the business, Keela, always here bright and early, holding me down, man. I appreciate that so much. You just never know. But we are back with Bible Thursdays, and like I said, I was going to dedicate this month, the month of February, to the Israelites. Reason being, I have no affiliation with anybody. So some people may say, "Oh, this is a platform where you cater to the Christians," and which is not the case. That's just who comes over here. This platform is open to anybody. As I see a bunch of you in the chat that I'm probably going to butcher your name, so forgive me if I do, but shout out to brother Ash who set this up. First of all, Yahakanan Israel, what does that say? SOTPOR Tazani. Shout out to Lily. Let me see, Captain. I should have asked him his name before we came on here, but Captain Azarayah. I'm probably saying it wrong, and he'll correct me when he come on. I've been trying to figure it out the whole time, but it's all good. Once I hear him say it a couple of times, then I'll remember it, man. But listen, y'all make sure and hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Go ahead and share the video out. Let everybody know that we are back. And in addition to doing this today, which I think is going to be a fantastic topic, the brother Ashraka will be back on Saturday. See, y'all got me doing 2 shows in 1 week. He'll be back this Saturday at 3 p.m. my time, which is Eastern Standard Time. Hey, and he's just calling out all Christians. He just wants all the Christian smoke, all the biblical smoke. I see him going around YouTube calling out everybody. So shout out to the 2024 champion in the building, Reginald Young. Hey, Reggie, I do have your award being made for you, so I'll get that to you as soon as it's done, because I do want to show my appreciation for you. Shout out to Patricia Mosher in the building. I do want to show my appreciation for you being the debate champion on this platform. Just being a biblical assassin, man. So I do want to show my appreciation for that. So it is being made. So when you're doing your live streams and everything, you can have it posted up right behind you. Oh man, but like I said, this Saturday, Ashrakan will be here. Just really no topic. We're just going to be going over some things, going over the debate that him and Stacy had, which is still people are talking about it. Just trying to drum up some more debates. But like I said, this month is dedicated to the Israelites. I do have the brother Juanis. I think we have next Thursday or the Thursday after that. I want to say the Thursday after that, locked in, where he's going to come on and do an interview. Eddie Israel wants to come on and do another presentation. So, like I said, man, this platform is for everybody, and this is the most unbiased platform you'll ever go on because I have no affiliations with anybody. I was a former Christian preacher for 20 years. Hey, I'm not anymore. I feel like you could get teachings from anywhere. I happen to love a lot of the Israelites teaching. I'm very interested to hear this one tonight, though. I tell you, man, I can't. I'm not even gonna lie to you, man. When we have these type of topics, these are the ones that I'm looking forward to. And I'll just say this: if anybody wants to debate, I want to kind of debate these type of things. You know, we run the gamut with the same old topics, but I like these fresh new ideas, these fresh new topics. They just shout out to Duran, my brother Duran. Speaking of the Israelite, man, y'all could catch them every Friday night teaching over on the Men of God channel. Duran, Eddie, Keith, Jansen, my boy Jansen is back, man. So y'all make sure and check that out, man. Keela, if you can, you could drop the link to their channel in the chat, as well as Asha's link. So nevertheless, though, I do bring on my guest for tonight. I'm gonna just have him come on and say his name because I don't want to butcher it. I hate to do it. What's going on, bro? Uh-oh, unmute yourself.
My apologies. Peace and blessings to everybody. Peace and blessings. What's going on? And I got you, brother Trevor. It's Azarayah.
Azarayah. Where did I get Aria? You know why I said Aria? Because I'm thinking of one of the seven heads, right? That's Aria is one of the one west seven heads, correct?
Well, there's been a few Arias. There's an Aria who's currently active in the Sakari, who's a high-ranking member of that organization. But if I'm not mistaken, one of the seven name was Aria too. Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Shout out to Jackie McCall in the building. That's why, yeah. And I say Azarayah. Okay, yeah, I'll get it now. So you coming your first time on the channel, and I'm bringing your reader up soon. But your first time on the channel, you coming with what these people would call crazy talk. Like I get it. I get it. Trust me. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I know where you're about to come from, but I can't wait for the presentation nevertheless. But when people see these type of topics, are there racist tenets in the Torah? The first thing they're going to say is God's not racist. That's the first thing that they want to say. But before we get into that, how long you been with Fire of God?
I've been with Fire of God 3 years. 3 years dealing with the brothers of Fire of God, 3 years dealing with the brother Ashrakan. Shout out to him. Make sure y'all go over there and like, share, and subscribe on his channel, which is Ashrakan. All right. But I've been knowing him for about 3 years, but I've been in this truth, as we say, for going on 9 years, since 2016.
So
right?
when you say the truth, what does that mean?
So what we like to say is from the moment, or from the time period we accepted the truth that the Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the true people of God, right? The true descendants of the ancient Israelites, accepting Yahweh as our Heavenly Father, and that He sent His Son to be the preparation for the children of Israel's sins, the Israelites, again, the Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans, patrilineally. So from that moment, that's when, you know, I would say I count the time being in the truth.
So how do you know, and I ask this to everybody, Duran, is everybody knows this, how do you know that you're an Israelite?
And that's a good question. First, the Spirit bears witness, right? I do love to say that, touching and agreeing with other brothers and other sisters who, you know, experience this, who are on this journey also. Then secondly, as far as myself, I've traced my own personal background, right? My family, I grew up in New York, vis-a-vis the hat in Queens. But I can trace my family lineage back to North Carolina on both my mom and my dad's side, right? And they were slaves. The slave name, I'll tell you, my last name is Lane. You can look it up. The plantation in Raleigh, North Carolina. All right. So that's first. I can trace my at least my heritage, my lineage back to a plantation here in the Americas. And then with that being said, the rest of the proof, I don't want to go through all of the talking points, but the prophecy that's contained, within the scriptures. 1 second. As I told you, my dog, I'm gonna let him in so he won't be so annoying to me. Come on in and sit.
Oh yeah, trust me. I got my cat. She's locked up in the room right now, but she'd normally be running around here, jumping around, doing stuff. So I totally get it. So you said because I see Reggie says show Blacks, Hispanics as a group. Hold on. Let me see what that says. Let me see. Show Blacks and Hispanics as a group of, what does that say? Oh, as a group of race in the Torah. Reggie, retype that because I don't understand. You may have talked that. I don't know. I don't understand what that says. But so you mentioned blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the Israelites. So what do you say to the people occupying the land now?
As far as what? As far as who they are?
Yes, the Israelites in Israel right now.
Yeah, they're converts. They're converts to Judaism, right? Which Judaism is not what we practice, right? That is the Edomites, or the so-called white people's version of our ancient cultures and practices. And it's not solely based on the writings contained in the Torah and the Tanakh. So they're converts, and that's not unfounded. You can find that in the book of Esther when it says that they became Jews. When you look that up, it tells you that word there is that they became Judaized, right? They didn't become Yahudi, right? No, they became I forget the word in the Hebrew, but they became the version of becoming Jewish or Judaized. So it's not uncommon. And also the Israelites, you can read about that, read about this in the Apocrypha, in the books of the Maccabees, about how during the time of the Greeks, the Hellenistic period, how many of those Greeks were converted. Right, it's the whole Hasmonean dynasty, and you can look up King Herod and his father, the Antipater. It says that he's an Edomite, but it says that Herod was a Jew because he was Jewish. He was a convert, right? He wasn't a bloodline Israel. He wasn't from that stock.
So what do you say? And this is the last question before we get into the presentation. So Reggie says show Blacks and Hispanics and Native Americans as a race in the Torah. Shout out to Cupid. So let me what do you say to people? I
got you.
And I was one of these people too, so I could admit this. What do you say to people that say, hey, you just can't be happy with being black? You got to go steal something that's not yours and try to impose yourself into a book that was written about people thousands of years ago?
Well, that's interesting because it seems like when so-called black people, when we try to figure out, because we're the only people, if you look up a term called natal alienation, right? It's what happens to a people when they have their culture, their language, right? Their basically everything that makes them a nation of people when they have that stripped from them, right? And that's what happened to in particularly the black, but also the Hispanics and the Native Americans, right? They had everything stripped from them. And then when we try to find out who we are, it's a problem. But it's not a problem when you go to when you look in Christianity and you see like the Irish flag flying at a Christian church also, right? Or the Filipino flag. It's no problem with them still identifying with who they are in the means of Christianity, but when we try to do it, it's a problem. See, these other cultures, they know who they are. They know exactly where they came from. They don't have a gap in their lineage, right? So that's what I say that I think that's interesting. And to Reggie Young, the question, or show me black Hispanics, we know that black Hispanics and Native Americans, that they're misnomers, right? They're bywords, right? Nobody is being called by their ancient name in the scriptures present day. So that's a false question.
So what you'll know, I don't know if you had any interaction with Reggie before, but there's going to be two people, Stacy and Reggie, that are probably going to just constantly poke at you. So just get used to that, because those are the two Christian hitters over here. So those are the guys that come for blood. So just so you know, so I would try not to read the chat while you're giving your presentation, because Reggie's just going to be throwing a bunch of different things at you. But
I'm not going to be reading the chat when I'm doing my presentation. The reason I addressed that question, Brother Trevor, is because I saw that you had read that comment. That's the only reason why.
And there's Stacy right on cue. So we're gonna get right into the presentation. He said that he said he wants to open up the platform for you guys to come on and ask questions. So y'all know how we do it over here, man. Hey, this is the arena. If you want to get it in for the biblical smoke, this is the place to do it. And we're gonna bring up his presentation and let me bring the brother up that's been waiting in the back patiently. What's your name, brother? I can't really see that too good.
My name is Yeshaya.
Yeshaya. All right. Peace to you. Stacy saying he wants a debate. Stacy,
I see that. and I'm gonna say this before we get into the presentation, if I could, Brother Trevor. Yes, we're gonna open it up. This is your platform, of course, and you gave me the opportunity. Thankful to you for allowing me to come up here and have this presentation. But when we open it up, it's going to be questions pertaining to the topic at hand. All right. So those are the questions I'll be answering. So if you got questions that pertain to racism in the Torah, anybody who got a question on that, bring them on.
All right. So let me go ahead and bring up your presentation. Listen, the floor is yours. I'm gonna just be in the background here doing some work and man in the chat.
Fantastic. Hey, again, I want to say peace to everybody who's watching live, everybody in the chat right now, whether you be a Christian, whether you be an atheist, no matter what your belief system is, whether you be, as we say, a fellow Israelite. All right, peace and blessings to you. The topic at hand is racism in the Torah. That's what we'll be going over. We're going to walk you through this presentation. And then, as the brother Trevor said, after we're done, we'll open it up for some questions. Again, I'm your brother, Captain Azarayah. I have my brother Yeshaya here with me. All right. And we're going to go ahead, not hold you any longer, and we're going to go ahead and get into it. All right. So here we go. Racism in the Torah, and is God a racist? All right. 1 second. Let me make sure I got this all queued up. All right, here we go. Right. So again, the questions I have: racism in the Torah, like the brother Trevor was saying, this is a topic that, you know, it gets people queued up. I can see that the chat seems like it's a little lit already because this is one of the topics that get people juices flowing, especially on the Israelite side, I would say, and also on the Christian side. So let's get into it. All right. We're going to start right here. If you could read that for me, my brother.
Let me get you. So like, I'm trying to get back on the link. I can see it, but I can't see you. Let me see. So I'm gonna take my face off the camera. That way I can come a little bit closer. I'm on the small.
If you're not able to see it,
I can read. I'm just gonna take my face off just for a small second.
okay.
Yeah. It says race. What is race? Race. People of a common descent. 1560s, people descended. You just took it off.
I didn't take it off, did I?
Yeah, I can see it now. Yeah, it just went off.
Oh, okay. Can you still see it, right?
Yeah, con.
Okay.
It says, what is race? Race. People, a common descent. 1560s, people descended from a common ancestor. Class of persons, ally, or common ancestry.
Pause right there. This is the key point in this definition about race. Race is a common descent or a common ancestry. People descending from a common ancestry. Class of a person, allied. Main point is common ancestry. We'll finish reading the rest of this for edification's sake. Go ahead, finish up, my brother.
A French race, earlier, raza, race, breed, lineage, family.
Paul, see that? Lineage, family, right? Those important words. Keep going.
Possibly from the Italian raza, which is unknown origin, cognate with Spanish raza, Portuguese raca. Etymologist says it has no connection with the Latin radix root, though they admit this might have influenced the tribe's nation's sense of race. Was in 15C form of radix, a Middle English, Old French, and then it's going into another word. Suggests that the words derive from Arabic ras or ras, head, beginning, origin, compared Hebrew rash. Definition: the etymologist online dictionary.
So that's where we got the definition from. As you can see, again, the key point here that we're going to hammer home in this presentation and in our time with you, that to understand if there's racism in the Torah, we have to first understand what a race is. And it's a people of a common ancestry, all right, a common descent. All right, the best way is a common ancestry. All right. Now that we understand what a race is, people of a common ancestry, let's look at what? Let's look at what is racism. All right. Go ahead, Ox. Read that for me.
Okay. Racism now, prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism by an individual, community, or institution against a person or people on the basis of their membership or a particular racial or ethnic group, typically one that is a minority or marginalized. Definition from Oxford Dictionary.
That's right. So again, it's a prejudice or discrimination or antagonism by an individual or community or institution. All right, on the people, forgive me. On the basis of that person's membership, right, in what? That are in a particular racial or ethnic group, which is a common ancestry. All right, so your membership in that common ancestry and somebody being prejudiced, having discrimination on you because of that, or being antagonistic towards you because of that, That's what racism is. So now we know what race is, right? We know what a race is, so we can clearly distinguish whether or not there's racism in the Torah towards other races, right? And now we also understand what racism is, because the action is there racism in the Torah goes back to the first slide. Then the obvious question is, what is God a racist, right? Let's continue. All right. Go ahead, read this important slide.
Khan. No race is found in the Torah. However, family, nations, and kindreds are found in the Torah, which, according to the etymology of the word race, describes people who shares a common ancestry.
Ooh. You can't find race in the Torah. No, you find families, right? Nation, kindred, right? These are the words that you find in the Torah, right? So you can't find it. And what does a race describe? Again, describes people with a common ancestry, and that's what a family, a nation, or a kindred would be. And we're going to look further into that by getting the etymology, by getting the definitions of these words. All right, let's continue. Right. So we're going to look at the biblical definitions for a few words right here. These words are important. All right. And what are we going to use? Read that right there from y'all.
Strong's exhaustive coordination of the King James and the Hebrew and the Greek lexicons.
All right. So we're going to use the Strong's concordance, which has the Hebrew and the Greek lexicon. All right. For our biblical definitions that we're about to currently take a look at. All right. All right. So here's our first biblical definition. It's nation. So if you could, for me, Brother Yeshaya, read this, please.
I'm gonna simplify this in the most. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna simplify this. Let me check it. This is nation Strong's definition. It says goy. I'm gonna say apparently from the same root as H1465 in the sense of massing, a foreign nation, hence a Gentile. Also, figuratively, a troop of animals or a flight of locusts, Gentiles, heathens, nations, people.
Right. You keep going. And I'm you can go where you want, but I want to point this out. So the translation count, right? The times that the word nation is used is 558 times. All right. Now go ahead.
God. The King James Version translation Strong H1471. Just real fast, just for edification's sake, everybody don't know. You have the blue letter. So the reason why it's saying like let's say for instance H1465, let's say if you go to the blue letter, you got the coordinates. If you click on a word, it's gonna give you a word, and then it's gonna match that word, how many times that word is used, how it's used, whether it's Hebrew, Greek, Aramaic, Latin, whatever the case may be.
Right.
That's what we're reading here right now. For the audience that might not know, again, we're looking at the blue letter, or they have different apps that you can look into, and they might have certain coordinates. But back to it, Salakia.
Go ahead.
This is it clicked out. The King James translation Strong H1471. Following matter nations 374x times. Heathen 143 times. Gentiles 30. Peoples people 11 times.
Right. So we see the overwhelming time, vast majority of the time that is used is just used as nation, describe a nation of people, right? People of a common ancestry, right? And then it's used as heathen, right? These would be people who are not Israelites. And then it's just used as Gentile, which Gentiles are other nations outside of the Israelites also. And then just 11 times just as a people. All right. Keep going. Just look at the biblical usage.
The biblical usage of nations, nation, people, Salakia. The first definition is nation,
Which means people, right?
Usually a noun is a Hebrew people. B, of descendants of Abraham. C, of Israel.
Right. So that you see, it can be used as nation to just mean people. These are people of a common ancestry, a nation, right? Or it can be used to describe that Gentiles, as you see right there, usually of a non-Hebraic people, but it can also be used to describe the descendants of Abraham, right? Of Israel. All right. Go ahead and finish out the last portion.
Yep.
Oh, we read that. Just the definitions came from the Strong Concordance, which is an exhaustive concordance of the King James Bible with the Hebrew and Greek lexicon. All right. Let's look at the next definition. Just block here. All right. Here we go.
Family, kindreds, Strong's definition. Mishpahah. Mishpahah, from H8192. Comparison H8198, a family. Circle, a relative, figuratively a class of persons, a species of animals, of sort, of things, by extension, a tribe or people's family, kind, read.
Yeah, or kindred, right? So, because family and kindred in Hebrew, that's the same word. It's a difference without a distinction. All right, your kindred is your family. All right, keep going.
King James translation counted total 301 times. The King James translation Strong's H4940 in the following manner: families 290 times, kindreds 9, kinds 2 times. Biblical uses: family 1, clan, A, family, B, tribes, this is skipped out, C, peoples, nations. The definitions from Strong Concordance and exhaustive coordination of the King James Bible with Hebrew.
Right. So again, we see the overwhelming time that the word kindred or family is used. It's used over 300 times, but the vast majority, 290 times, is used as kindred, which is one and the same as the family. Again, these are people of a common ancestry. All right. Describe a race. All right. Let's move on. All right. So now we got some supporting scriptures. We're gonna read through these. I'm gonna highlight a few points in these scriptures. These scriptures help to illustrate the point, so to speak, and to highlight racist tenets in the Torah. All right. So if you could go ahead. Can you see that? I can make it a little bit bigger for you if you need me to.
No, Con, this should be fine. I'm good with that.
Okay.
Let me get out. This is Exodus 3:7. And the Lord said, I have surely seen the affliction of my people, which are in Egypt, and have heard their cries by reason of their taskmasters, for I know their sorrow. So,
first verse we see right here is that the Most High is what he's showing a favoritism right here, because he's saying, right now, most people would say that the God of the Bible or the God of Torah, he's the God of everybody. But right here, he says that his people are in Egypt. All right. So that's what we see first. All right. Let's read the next verse.
And the second verse is Exodus 11:7. But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that ye may have known, that ye may know how the Lord does put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel.
Now this is important, right? So he said, my people which are in Egypt, right? The children of Israel, and he said, shall not a dog move their tongue. So no, you can't say nothing bad or do anything bad against this people, right? Against a man or even against their animals. So that you know that the Lord or God of the Torah, that he did what? He put a difference, keyword difference, between the Egyptians and Israel. Now let's go back and look at read the definition of racism again.
Prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism by an individual is carried out community or institution against a person or people on a basis of their membership or a particular racial or
Fine. That's the point. Prejudice, discrimination, and antagonism by an individual against a people based on a racial or ethnic group, right? Which the Egyptians would be a racial or ethnic group, would they not? Yes, they would be. Nobody would argue that, right? So now let's go back to the supporting scriptures, right? So that he said that the children of Israel, nobody can move, should not a dog move a tongue against them, so that he can show that there's a difference between the Egyptians and the Israelites, right? And again, right, what is racism? That's discrimination, right there. All right, that God put this difference there. Not no man, God put the difference there. All right, let's read the next verse.
Exodus, this is Exodus 19:4-5. Ye have seen what I did unto the Egyptians, and how I bare you on eagle wings, and brought you into myself. Now, therefore, if ye will obey my voice indeed, and keep my covenant, then ye shall be a particular treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine.
Now, this is important right here. He said, you have seen what I did to the Egyptians, because he said in chapter 11, shouldn't the dog move his tongue, right, against the children of Israel, to put the difference between the Egyptians and the Israelites and Israel, right? And everybody knows what he did, the plagues that were put on the Egyptians. And he said that you see what I did to show the difference, right? Because he put a difference, right? We see that, and he said that you see what I did to the Egyptians, right? And then the favoritism right here brought the Israelites unto himself, right? And he said that they will be a peculiar treasure, not equal to, not the same as, but above. Can you read the definition of racism again? He said that they will be above all people. Let's look at the definition of racism again. Prejudice, I think, saying that his people is better in, discriminating on them based on who they are and the plagues that he put on the Egyptians, right? That's a prejudice, that's a discrimination, and that's an antagonistic relationship between the God of the Bible, or we're talking about the Torah right now, right? Part of the Bible, that he has an antagonistic relationship with the Egyptians. That's racism. Okay, right there. Let's back on the slide. Let's see. Again, he said that they be a peculiar treasure above all people, not equal. And key point right here for anybody. He says, "For all the earth is his." It's not like he's not saying that all of the earth don't belong to him. All of the people do belong to him. But he had an antagonistic relationship, and he showed discrimination against the Egyptians and other nations to the favor or the benefit of the nation who he said were his people. That's racism. That's discrimination. And based on what? Based on their race, which is their common ancestry. They all descend from the patriarch Jacob, right? Whose name was changed to Israel, the 12 sons, right? Let's read the next bullet point. Next verse.
This is Leviticus 20 and 24. But I have said unto you, ye shall inherit their land, and I will give it unto you to possess it, a land that floweth with milk and honey.
Hold on. He said, you shall inherit their land. This is an antagonistic relationship. This is a prejudice, discrimination, that he kicked these people out of their land in favor of his people, who we know are the Israelites. He said, my people which are in Egypt, but against any of the children of Israel, right? To show the difference. He said that they are peculiar treasure unto him, above all people. And now he already had the antagonistic relationship with the Egyptians, put the plagues on them. Man killed the firstborn, right? We all know that story. I don't have to get into it too deep, right? And now, not only did he do that, but then he kicked out a people who were dwelling in a land in favor of the children of Israel. Let's keep going.
Salakia, that floweth with milk and honey.
Mm-hmm.
I am the Lord your God, your God, which have separated you from other people.
See that? He said, I am the Lord your God, right? Again, the favoritism, the possessive now that we see right here, which have separated you from other people, right? The prejudice towards other nations to let another people inherit their land and kick these people out of that land. And then again, the pure separation, right? Which is the favoritism, right? That he shows towards this people, this race of people, based on their common ancestry. Right? Next verse.
This is Deuteronomy 7 and 6. For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God. Lord thy God has chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
It's not at the mouth of one witness, but at the mouth of what?
Two
witnesses. Right? That's why I wanted to add this, because not only in Exodus, but also here in Deuteronomy, he said that these people are a special people unto him. He never said that about anybody else. You can't find that in the Torah, right? A special people unto himself, above all people that are on the face of the earth. Not equal to, this right here is showing a ethnic hierarchy and racial stratification right here.
All
right. Let's read the next verse.
This is Deuteronomy 23, 19 and 20. Thou shalt not lend upon usury to thy brother.
Okay, so right here, this is important. It says that thou shalt not lend usury to thy brother, which would be your fellow Israelite in the context. All right, read on.
Salaki, can I just add a little context to this?
Yes.
This is for people that might not know, or the audience that might not know. Usury is like charging interest. Like if somebody gives you money, you can't ask them for, if you give them $5, you can't ask them for $10 back.
That's right.
Right. This is Deuteronomy 23, 19 and 20. Thou shalt not lend usury to thy brother, to thy brothers, usury of money, usury of victuals, usury of anything that is lent upon usury. To a stranger thou mayest lend upon usury, but into thy brother not lend upon usury.
We see right here prescribed in the Torah, right? Prescribed right here in the Torah is for the Israelites to be discriminatory or have I wouldn't say a prejudice, but at least be discriminatory, right? And have an antagonistic relationship. Because whose relationship is good with the bank who charging them 30% interest on their credit card? Definitely, you don't have a good a protagonistic relationship. Okay, you have an antagonistic relationship with that bank. All right, because of the usury that they lend.
All right.
Racism. All right. Let's keep going. Finish this up.
I'm gonna start back at I'm gonna start back into a stranger thou mayest lend upon usury, but to thy brother thou shalt not lend upon usury. That the Lord thy God may bless thee in all that thou settest thine hand to, and whether thou goest to possess it.
Right. So he said he's gonna bless them even if they're using usury on other people, on other nations. Right? He said he's gonna bless them in all that they set their hand to doing this practice. Would that be a racist tenet? I think so. Right. Let's finish this up. Last verse.
This is Deuteronomy 29:18. Lest there should be among you any man or woman or family or tribes whose hearts turned away this day from the Lord our God to do and serve gods of these nations.
Man, that's important. That's why I wanted to put this in here and highlight it, right? To show, again, this is what we see, what we talked about, shared ancestry, being a family and or a tribe, a kindred, right? This is the Israelites he's talking to right here, because he said that he's the Lord their God, right? That they may not, so the Lord our God or their God, right, to go and serve who? Other gods, the gods of these other nations, meaning that these other nations have their gods for them to serve. That the God of the Bible is not their God. He's only the God of the Israelites. That's what this verse right here implies. Right? And I want y'all to remember this, because I'm going to hit on this point once again here in just a moment. All right? My final thoughts on this topic I'm getting ready to lay out here in a moment. I have a few scriptures to go with it, and then we're going to open it up, as we talked about in the beginning, for about 45 minutes to an hour for these questions or in the comments. Again, appreciate everybody. All right. So the question is, are there racist tenets in the Torah? Are there racist tenets found in the Torah? I'd say yes. Lord willing, this presentation has made that point clear. The supporting scriptures we reviewed earlier illustrate this point. So in closing, here are three scriptures that in my opinion are going to best illustrate this point. All right, I'm going to read these. All right, this is Deuteronomy again, chapter 7 and verse 6. It says, "For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God." The word holy means separate. So the Israelites are a separate people from everybody else. Are separate people unto the Lord their God. All right, that's what this verse right here says, because again, holy means separate. I mean, so at bare minimum, we have to say that the Lord is a separatist. All right, with this context right here. And the Lord thy God have chosen thee to be a special people unto itself. Again, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. right? Not equal to, not the same as, not beneath them. He said that the Israelites would be above. They'd be a separate people, especially for him, a special treasure to him, and that they will be above all people. Again, that's racial stratification and an ethnic hierarchy based on their race, which is their common ancestry. All right? Deuteronomy chapter 4, we're going to read verses 5 and 6. It says, behold, I have taught you, who is the you of the Israelites, statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my God commanded me. This is Moses talking to them, that you may do so in the land whether you go to possess it. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom. So the statutes, commandments, and the judgments in the Torah, which Torah means instructions, are the Israelites' wisdom and understanding in the sight of the nations, in the sight of the other families, tribes, kindreds of the earth. Belongs to them. It was never prescribed to everybody, right? And that's discrimination right there, right? Which shall hear all these things and say, surely this is a great nation, is a wise and understanding people. Again, their wisdom, their understanding in the sight of all the nations, so that they would see how wise this people is and acknowledge that because of the laws and statutes that their God gave them, right? And again, not to everybody, but only to them, right? Showing that favoritism and that discrimination against other nations to the detriment of those nations, you would have to say, and for the betterment of this people, right? Giving them a codified law to govern them based on his wisdom. All right. So this is Deuteronomy chapter 32, verses 8 and 9. This is a very important verse, and we're going to read it in the NLT. This is the New Living Translation. This goes back to this verse that we read, where it says, where he says, least there should be among you man, woman, or family or tribe whose heart turneth away from the Lord our God to go and serve the God of these other nations, families, and kindreds of a common ancestry, right? You don't want that to happen, right? This verse right here further elaborates on the other nations being prescribed or being given their own gods. And would you say that this is another racist tenet? I would, right? Because again, it's showing a discrimination against the other nations, giving them not himself, who is the Most High God, and he was antagonistic towards them again because he told them the land whether they go to possess it. He gave them other people's land. Again, we talked about the usury that they're allowed to commit and other things, but these were some of the key points we wanted to cover here. All right. But let's look at this. The NLT is the New Living Translation. It says, when the Most High assigned lands to the nations. So every nation, every kindred, every family, every people with their common ancestry were given their own lands, right? This is important. And then when he divided, who's the he? God, the Most High. He divided the human race. So coming at me, you don't have a problem literally with me. You don't have a problem with what the Torah says, right? Because it says that God divided up the human race. Oh, we shouldn't be divided. We should all be together. God never meant for everybody to be together. It says that he divided the human race, right? And then he separated, he assigned, when he divided the human race, everybody, every nation, based on your common ancestry into your own lands. And then what did he also do? He established the boundaries of the people, right? This is for their worship, right? According to the number of the heavenly court. Right? This is the divine council. This is the Most High God giving everybody, all these nations, their own gods to worship. Okay? According to the number of the heavenly court. You find the word heavenly court in the Masoretic text in the Dead Sea Scrolls, and then you find the angels of God, which is the same thing, the sons of God, like you see in Job. These are angels. You find this in the Greek Septuagint. All right, it says, "For the people of Israel belong to the Lord, and Jacob is his special possession." Again, he said that he's the Lord, their God, right? That they wouldn't go and serve the other gods of these nations. Why? Because he gave them their own gods to serve. When he divided up the human race and assigned every nation their own land. Okay. With that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna go ahead and close this out. Brother Yeshai, did you have anything else you wanted to add before we open it up for questions real quick? I don't think he's there. We may have lost him, but I yield. I yield, Brother Trevor.
I think he's still up here, so he can stay up here. First of all, man, fantastic presentation. I always appreciate when a brother puts a slideshow together. I was in the debate league, and I know how hard it is to put slideshow presentations together and present your information when you got guys in the chat, just going against you. So I say that first of all. And I did say last year, you guys know that I don't give any commentary on the debates. I don't give any commentary on the presentations, even though I want to. So this year I am going to start giving commentary on the debates, because I've been doing this. I've had this channel for 2 years now, and I've gotten death threats behind these Thursday night shows. I've had people threaten my family. They don't think that I should be doing this, and blah, 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 blah. So I know the serious nature of it. So if I have thoughts on things, I do need to expound on it. So with that being said, we always set a standard over here when it comes to like debates and stuff like that. And people over here are very knowledgeable. So I hope that, because I saw this a lot in the chat, and shout out to Adrian Cutler, shout out to Master Blaster, Tony Lissette, who else was there? Brother Duran, how do you say that? Yaramaya. Oh man, no, I butchered that one. Ted East, peace to you. So this is where we are. So I see in the chat, it doesn't say race. It doesn't say race. It doesn't say race. So we have to we have to we got to get beyond that. So Reggie, and I use Reggie as an example when we have these Trinity debates. Reggie always says the Bible teaches. The Bible teaches. No, it doesn't say Trinity in the Bible, but Reggie is knowledgeable enough to take you to scripture that would support the Trinity doctrine. So this brother's doing a presentation about racist tenets in the Torah, and we're so hung up on the fact that it doesn't say race. So the word race was presented in the 16th century. And it was meant, and it had nothing to do with color. It was the word race represented your ancestry and your kindred.
Can I share?
I read that in the scriptures.
Can I show one thing too? Since everybody's hung up, I want to present my screen. I had this queued up. I didn't know if I was going to need it, but it looks like I do need it. So all praise to the Heavenly Father. I had this queued up just in case I need it, and it hits on exactly what you said. If we could, I'll read it right here. So this is from the American Psychological Association, right? It says that race refers to the social construct and categorization of people based on perceived shared physical traits that result in the maintenance of the social political hierarchy. This term is also loosely applied to geography, culture, religion, or national groups. Self-reported race frequently varies owing to change in social context and individuals' possible identification with more than one race. This is important. Ethnicity is a characteristic of a people based on having a shared culture, i.e. language, food, music, dress, values related to a common ancestry and shared history. A better way to look at it, I didn't include this in the slide, but a better way to look at race, because race is a social construct, is ethnicity, ethnos.
Yeah,
Okay.
Listen, on this channel, we have that race debate all the time. So before I open up the floor, I do want to say, as listening to your presentation, which again I thought it was great, and nobody could sway the way I believe on anything. I'm sensible enough to, I hear everything, and then I had to use my discernment as far as how we're gonna go with that. But so I'm listening to the presentation, and you're saying racist tenets in the Torah, then you talk about the kindred, the lineage. Then you start bringing up like usury, and you start bringing up the high interest rates on the credit card and stuff. Would it be better to say, to, instead of using race, say maybe like favoritism or something like that? Because, and the reason I say that is because the scripture everybody goes to, and listen, I was a Christian preacher for 20 years, and the first time I ever heard this was in 2020 when I heard ISUBK and I heard Captain Azarayah say that John 3:16 doesn't mean what I was taught that John 3:16 means. So I'm not here to say that that's true or not, but what I'm saying is, if John 3:16 says, "For God loved the world that he gave his only begotten son," and the Israelites would tell me that the word world doesn't mean world in the way that we think it means, because when we hear world, we're thinking like everybody in the world.
The entire world, right?
Yeah, couldn't it just be simple enough to say, and that's why we had these conversations, not to argue, but to get some type of clarity and meet in the middle. Couldn't it just be easy enough to say that he favors these people a little bit more than the other people?
Yeah, I don't think it's a problem to say that the Most High shows favoritism, but he shows the favoritism based on the common ancestry, based on the nation. Okay, it's not just favoritism for favoritism's sake, because as he said, and we read and we saw in my presentation, it's because he chose this people. He said they're his peculiar treasure, his special possession, that he separated them from other people and made him a holy people, separate people unto himself. So he showed that favoritism based on the common ancestry of that family. Right? Why I showed in one of the last verses that when he said this family here, the man, woman, family, tribe, because that's what makes up a nation. A bunch of families make up a tribe, then make up a nation. So he said, if any of y'all to turn your hearts to these other gods, I'm your God. That is clear favoritism right there. Right, based on a common ancestry. Go ahead, my brother.
So like I cut out right when you was asking me that, but this kind of going into your point. Can I get Deuteronomy 7:6? And I think this will make a strong point to going into that question.
Yes, this Deuteronomy 7:6.
I'm gonna actually start at one real quick because it's dealing with connections real fast. And I'm gonna read this. This is Deuteronomy 7, and then I'm gonna start at verse 1. I don't know if you want to put it on your screen, but it's cool. If not, I'm gonna take myself off real fast. It says, "When the Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, and has cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites, the Gergesites, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Girgashites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. And when the Lord thy God has delivered them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them, and thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy on them." Verse 3. It says, either shalt thou marry with them thy daughters, thou shalt not give unto them thy sons, nor thy daughters shalt thou make them into thy sons. Verse 4 is what I'm looking for. For they will turn away thy sons from following me. This shows that the Most High is not even dealing with the other nations.
Pause. And it's not just because God is some mean God. It's because, no, he chose his people. He hollowed them and separated them. He wanted them to be a certain way. So he said, and then he said, I divided, we read that, the human race, and gave everybody their land. And he wanted the people separated so that his people would serve him and not have the influence of these other gods. Because he's a what? A jealous God. Continue, my brother.
So imagine if I have a son, right? If I have a son and I tell my son, hey, son, I don't want you dealing with these other people because me and you got a covenant. And I'm not dealing with these people over here. And I'll have a special covenant or a special bond with just me and you. Wouldn't that be racist? We'll put it like this. Let's just say we're going to put it in black and white. Son, I don't dealing with that white girl over there. That white girl got a different God than me. So I don't want you dealing with that girl, because if you deal with her, you're going to have to deal with that white God, and I don't like that white God over there. We're showing the races and the tendencies that comes with the God that we serve. But I also want to come down just a little bit more, Salakia, and I ain't going to take this over no more. I just give me 2 more minutes, Ak.
Go ahead, Mark.
I'm gonna read.
Trevor, this one of our young lions, okay?
I see.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna start back at 4. It says, for they will turn away thy sons from following me. You see? And again, like I said, it would show the Kendricks in it. It would show that he chose his particular people, his treasure, and then he didn't want you to deal with other races of people. But watch this. And notice it named the Girgashites and the other nationalities of people. And then it says, and serve other gods. So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you and destroy thee suddenly. So it's a punishment for even dealing with these other nations.
Right. And this is prescribed in the Torah, which Torah again meaning the instructions. These are instructions that he's given this people. If this is not favoritism, it itself is evident by if he would first kick another people out of that land in pursuit of his own people. And then the antagonistic relationship with these other nations. Because not only is he telling you that his people is better, right, not to make marriages with them, but then in some cases, he's letting his people drive them out of their land, right, for his people and kill them. If that's not racist tenets being prescribed in the Bible, I don't know what is. I don't think that there's an argument to the contrary on this point right here. Now, we'll listen. You know, I think people are going to come up and try to dance around and ask questions that don't actually pertain to the Torah and racism being prescribed in there, the racist tenets in there, but we'll see. We'll see, Brother Trevor. We're looking forward to it.
And Khan, just to cover my tracks as well, in Nehemiah 13, we sticking specifically to the Torah, so I'm not going into Nehemiah, but if you ever want to read Nehemiah 13, it's 26. This is with Solomon. So I know we only just named 7 nations, but when you go into it, it's down a little bit more, and then it's going to start naming other nations, meaning all not supposed to deal with them. So I definitely wanted to clarify that. But I want to read on Deuteronomy 7 and 6, and just kind of going to my brother's PowerPoint on the powerful Captain Azarayah. It says, for thou art a holy people, and that word is separate. When you go into Kodash, holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God has chosen thee to be a special people. The word that I wanted to go into specifically was special. When you go into that word special, there's a Hebrew word for that. And I just want to pull that up just real fast. I'm just going to read it real fast.
Okay.
Let me get that word real fast. This is the word Salakia. So segula, and it means possession, property, valued property, particular treasure, right? And then when you go into that word particular, it gives you an even better breakdown. It gives you it means particular or special. The reason why I'm going into that is because the reason why that's so racist is because imagine having a jewelry box, and you got this jewelry box, you got 1,000 chains, and out of this 1,000 chains, you pull out one of those chains and say, "This is my favorite chain. This is my favorite one out of all of the chains that I can pull out."
That's a good analogy. Yeah.
Right. And out of this, and the reason why it's so racist is because now it connects the word special to people. So it's not just only limited to like jewelry. Now this is not only a treasure, but this is a special people that is a treasure to him.
Right. Right.
Specifically a special treasure to him. This is something that's of value, and that's his property, a special value and property once you go into the Hebrew.
Yeah.
I want to put that out to say, like, he's picking out a special people that's a treasure unto him and only unto him. And I just point that out when I yield from there.
But again, is it again when especially with the analogy about the chain, it goes back to the favoritism argument. So I think a lot of these Bible presentations and debates always fall in the lines of interpretations of words, but I do see the back is filling up. I'm gonna just say this real quick. This, if you're coming up here, it'll just let it be about the presentation tonight. Don't disrespect the brother and try to bring up something different that he didn't present, because that's crazy. Stacy, the link is in the chat. Ash will have his own show this Saturday at 3. So anything you want to say to Ash, you could do it Saturday. But if you come up though, just make sure that is to deal with the cap. Adrian, you need to reconcile what I saw with Johnny Robertson. You need to reconcile that. But Reggie is in the back and he is a champ, so he does get first crack. And to the, what does that say? Truth and oh God, what's wrong with my eyesight, man? Truth and Thelos Ministry. This is the first time I ever seen you. So if these brothers don't know you, I just need you to just flash the camera real quick before I put you on. Because like I say, I got people that's after my head over here. They just want to destroy my channel. So just flash the camera.
I see you got all of the belts behind you. Don't drop the people's elbow.
Sometimes I want to put these hands on them. They just crazy, man. Okay, I got you. You good. So all right. Oh man, this is a white brother. Okay, this is gonna be fun. So the champ is in the building. What's going on, Reggie?
All right, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hey, I want to first of all say to you, Trevor, thanks for opening back up this year. And I want to say to the captain, I disagree with your presentation, but I'm always appreciative when people stand on things they have concluded are true. So that's commendable, because I don't want to come across in a way that shows disrespect. So you're doing something that a lot of people won't do by coming forth to at least present what you concluded to be true, even though I disagree. So I'm really just going to ask 2 questions based on scripture, and I just like to hear your explanation. Is that okay?
Fantastic.
Okay. One of the things you said in your presentation was that God was not the God of all men. Could you read Jeremiah 32:27 and give me your explanation?
I didn't say that, because if I could bring the presentation up, let me show something. See, this is why I'm going to share my screen. I want to bring the presentation back up. All right.
I didn't say that it was written. I said you said that.
I didn't say that. This is what I said. You see it right here. This is Exodus 19:4-5, right? The last clause in it, verse 5 says, "Then you shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine." That's what I said. I said all nations, everybody is his, but he chose the Israelites. So I just wanted to.
That doesn't change my question. Could you just read and explain that verse?
Which verse?
Jeremiah 32:27.
I would go to that verse to explain it, sir, but we're sticking to racism in the Torah. So you have a verse.
So basically, all right, that's fine. That's fine. So basically, I'm only restricted to Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy.
You have the same restrictions that I have, sir.
Okay, no worries. So I'll take my question to there. Could you get Deuteronomy 10:17 and give your breakdown on that?
Okay. We'll take a look at it. Pulled up. You said Deuteronomy 10:17. Deuteronomy 17.
No,
right.
Deuteronomy 10:17.
Okay. Deuteronomy chapter 10. And verse 17, I'm going to pull it up here on the screen real quick. Let me share my screen for a second. There we go. Can you read that for me, Brother Yeshaya?
Yes, sir. It says, he doeth execute judgment of the fatherless.
Verse 17.
Salakia. For the Lord your God is God of gods and Lord of lords, and a great God, a mighty and a terrible, which regardeth not persons, nor taketh reward.
Right. I can. So let's start from the beginning. Verse, read it from the top for me, brother.
This is Deuteronomy 10. It goes in and out. This is Deuteronomy 10:17. It says, for the Lord your God is God of gods and Lord of.
First right here, we see he's talking to the children of Israel, and he's saying that the Lord, your possessor, that their God is the God of all gods, which I talked about in my presentation, saying that when he divided the nations and divided the human race, he gave all nations their gods. So I've explained that already. Let's keep going.
And Lord of lords and a great God.
Right. So Lord of lords means ruler of all rulers, right? Power of all powers, God of all gods, right? Read on.
And a terrible, that guardeth not persons, nor take a reward.
Yes, of course he doesn't regard any person, because even amongst the Israelites, you're judged on what you do. Okay, if you break the law, there's a judgment. You have to either offer your sacrifice, or there's certain sins, certain iniquity that's unto death. So he doesn't regard you based on a king couldn't just break the law and get away with it. That doesn't matter. So he doesn't regard a person, nor do he don't take bribes.
Okay. So when it says he regardeth not persons, would you be okay with a person saying he shows no favoritism?
Would I be okay with you saying it? It depends on what the context is. Because yes, let me finish. Depends on what the context is. He doesn't show favoritism based on judging individuals based on their transgressions. So yes.
So this verse isn't talking about he shows no favoritism towards people altogether. It only deals with not showing favoritism towards sin. Explain that.
Can you read the next verse?
Well, I'm dealing with verse 17.
I'm not talking to you. To you, I was actually talking
but
to
I'm asking you about verse 17. If this verse says, and you read it, the verse says, which regardeth not persons. Are you in agreement that this verse sometimes is translated, he shows no favoritism? What does it mean then, he regardeth not person, or shows no favoritism? In what capacity?
Hey, Salakia,
is it every capacity, or is it just in what you said just said?
Sir, I'm going to explain. And you may not like my answer, okay? But I'm going to explain it again, okay? Because what I said is that this scripture is referring to him not showing favoritism or regard. You like the word favoritism, that's fine. Which regardeth not person nor taketh reward. Because no, he's not like that when he's judging his people. Because I'm not sure what the context is right above. We have to go up, but you don't want to look at it. But I believe, I'm not going to say I'm 100% sure that this is in regards to his law, statutes, and commandments that he prescribed to his people, right? Because the Torah is about the instructions given to his people. That's what Torah means. Torah means the instructions. So in regards to the instructions prescribed here, he doesn't show favoritism. No, if you break the law, you break the law. Just like he told the king, though you be king, if you break the law, even if you break the law unknowingly, you still broke the law.
Salakia, can I ask you?
So basically you're saying then it doesn't matter whether you're a Jew or Gentile, he doesn't show favoritism, correct?
No, that's what you're saying. I'm saying he doesn't show favoritism towards his laws being broken. Just like King David, for example. Do you know the story of King David?
It's my turn to question you. You made the presentation. So again, my question is, since he doesn't show favoritism, I'm asking you, are you saying he shows favoritism towards the Jews over the Gentiles or not? That's all I'm asking you.
I answered your question already. I said this is the context. The context is whether he's showing favoritism towards an individual right here based on what they have done. Okay? Now you're asking about Jews.
Let me ask it another way. Let me ask it another way.
I'm not done yet. I'm going to double down on this point here, Trevor. I'm sorry. What's your name, my bro?
Reggie.
What's your name? Reggie. I'm going to double down on this point because I asked you about King David, and I asked you about King David for this reason right here, right? King David was said to be perfect, but when he transgressed and killed Uriah, he didn't show him favoritism just because he was king. That's showing no regard towards a person. That's the point.
Okay,
there.
so you're admitting God doesn't show favoritism to Israel.
I just said that if you break his law, you break his law. Yes, I just said that.
All right, that's fine. Let's move on. Let's move on to another text. I don't want to take up nobody else's time. Genesis 22:18. Can you turn there?
You want what now?
Genesis 22:18.
And I'm going to bring up truth
I'm going to take one more question because I want to make sure we get other questions from other people too. And then I don't want to be up here too long because I do have something I got to get to. All right, but Deuteronomy 22 and what?
No, I didn't say Deuteronomy. I said Genesis 22:18.
Genesis 22 and 18. Gotcha. All right. All right. Brother Yeshua, can you read that?
This is Genesis 22 and Salakia. What was it? 18?
Yeah.
Correct.
And can I make a comment just right after I read this verse, or after you get done with this?
You can, after you read the verse, you can make your comment real quick.
This is Genesis 22 and 18. It says, and in thy seed shall all nations of the earth be blessed, because thou obeyest my voice. I just heard what you was asking my brother, but I was gonna ask you, in the law, is that given to Israelites also, that they can't be partial?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Say again.
So I was
cut out.
I was asking, in the law, is it given by the Most High to Israel that they can't be partial?
You have to give me a text to deal with. So here's my question on Genesis 22. Here's my question on Genesis 22.
Hold on.
18.
I got you, sir. I'm gonna answer your question. He's talking about.
Okay, so then here's my question. Here's my question. We want to stay on the subject.
Sir,
we want to stay on the subject in the Torah.
I know this.
So let me ask my question from Genesis 22:18.
Sir, can you stop? I haven't done this to you not once. I haven't cut you off in the middle of your.
You're cutting me off now. I didn't ask my question.
I cut you off in the middle of your speech.
Yes, now you did.
How we're gonna do it? Go ahead, sir. Ask your question.
Okay. According to Genesis 22:18, what nations is Yahweh being racist against that they won't be blessed?
Read Genesis, Yeshaya, read Genesis 18, 22 and 18 for him.
And in thy seed shall all nations of the earth be blessed, because thou hast obeyed my voice.
Right. Now, we know that in other verses, it says that there's a stipulation for all these nations to be blessed. Is that right? You don't have to answer. It's a rhetorical question. Yes, there is a stipulation. They have to bless Israel in order to be blessed. And again,
does this verse say that? The verse says, in thy seed shall, talking about Abraham. Abraham's seed. It says, in your seed, all nations of the earth be blessed. And I'm asking, which nation is Yahweh racist against that can't be blessed through Abraham's seed? Which nation
that does not bless, the nation that does not bless the Israelites?
Okay, but this is talking about Abraham.
Okay, and when he was talking to, wait, let me finish. When he was talking to Abraham, he said that every family of the earth will be blessed. The nation that bless you, I will bless, and the nation that curse you, I will curse.
Listen to this. Who's Abraham's seed that's going to bless all nations?
Okay, he was talking to Abraham. Okay,
about who?
And Abraham's seed, Abraham's God. Let me finish.
You don't know who that is? You on the hot seat. Who's Abraham's seed?
You won't let me finish. You won't let me get my words out before you start.
All it takes is one name. It don't take an explanation. Who is Abraham's seed?
Who is Abraham's direct descendant? Direct seed?
Who is Abraham's seed that this verse is referring to?
Abraham's direct seed is Isaac.
Okay, that's his direct seed. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Is Abraham's seed Christ?
We're not talking about that right now. We're talking about racism in the Torah, and I don't know how that applies.
Okay, I tell you what. I tell you what. Maybe I picked the wrong subject talking about Christ. Listen, if you don't want to talk about Jesus, that's fine. I'll go. The next guy can come up.
We're talking about racism in the Torah.
Peace.
We're not talking about the Lord. Okay. Next question. We're good. We're good, Yeshaya. We're good. We're good. We're not going to cast our pearls amongst brothers who want to operate like that. When we have a debate that's on that topic, then we can debate that. This topic is on racism in the Torah, and he's upset that because he can't deal strictly in the Torah. He's upset. He was upset from the beginning. I have the same constraints Brother Reggie has.
God. Yeah, no, I was going back into the first question because he never answered my question, as a matter of fact.
Go ahead and bring that out notifications if you could. So that I'm gonna pull it up in Leviticus to show that we're not supposed to be partial either. Real quick.
And the law was a mirror reflection of how Israel's supposed to conduct themselves. So the same way Abraham, Salakia, the same way Abraham was going to sacrifice his son, the Most High did the same exact thing with Christ.
You know Leviticus 19, right?
Right.
You know verse 15?
Yes, sir. God.
All right.
So it's a mirror reflection of how we conduct ourselves. The Most High is not going to tell us to do something that he's not going to do himself, especially when it comes to his law. This is a law to Israel. This is Leviticus 19 and verse 15. Shall do no unrighteousness in judgment. Thou shalt not respect the persons of poor, nor honor the persons of the mighty, but in righteousness shalt thou judge thy neighbor. And it still was talking about Israel. This had nothing to do with the other nations. So you still lost, sir.
Reggie, Reggie, you left and you wanted to cut me off. You wouldn't even let me get this out because I wanted to address our young brother Yeshaya's point that he brought out towards you. We know that you don't want to answer no questions because you feel like it's our time to be on the hot seat. You want to get your questions off. That's fine, brother, right? But this is the point to the first question that you asked. No, we can't be partial. We're prescribed not to be partial, so then how can God be partial when judging us? All right, so we're ready for the next question. That's a beautiful point, brother Yeshaya. Hey, shout out to the brother Ash right there too. Peace, King. So you had I'm ready for whoever had the next question.
I muted.
Shalom, brothers. I just wanted to say good work, man. I'm proud of y'all. Y'all did a good job, man.
So this says truth in Talos. I'm assuming that says ministries because I can't see everything. But just a Cap, if you want to do some debating, Reggie definitely will want to debate you on this. And one thing I will say about Reggie, because I'm on record saying that I think Christian men are like weak and passive and things like that. And I think that's why I like Reggie so much, because he's not. He's very aggressive, and he matches the aggression of the Israelites that I've seen. So that's kind of why he comes off that way. So
but can I say this real quick? Reggie, I understand that you had other dealings with other Israelites, but don't judge us, because I don't judge you based on every other Christian I've had an interaction with. So I'm not going to cut you off in the middle of your speech. I'm not going to get ultra aggressive. I'm going to match the energy that you bring, right? We can have a peaceful brotherly dialogue and disagree, right? Without it being disagreeable, without anybody getting in their feelings. And yes, I'm all down for the smoke. Reggie, I'm ready to give you this fade whenever you want it. Since
if you want it, come get it.
Do it. Don't get done worse than Stacey Mobley got done by Osh.
God.
Don't end up making clips and posting them up on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. Okay? Because you already just got done dirty, by the way. You mad. Trevor told you from the jump that this is about the Torah. The first place you go, showing you're not paying attention to detail as a good debater, is you try to take me outside of it, and then got upset. So let's do it whenever you want.
All right, so like in general, I'm gonna yield right here. But aggression it's not equal to decorum.
Good point. That's right.
Decorum is what we practice at FOG.
Right. Shout to teaches us this decorum. Right. Shout to Ash.
Right. As I learned from my general, one thing that I've learned in him dealing with multiple platforms, one thing that he do is allow people to speak. allow them to get out their thoughts, and then have a peaceful discussion. What I just seen right there, I honestly wouldn't want my brother to debate him because I feel like he don't have decorum. And when he learns decorum, then he can come to FOG. And with that said, I feel.
Hey, I appreciate you having my back, brother Yeshai. That's one of our fiery brothers out of Dallas. Appreciate that. But I like the brother Reggie, man. You know, I like his fire. You know, we'll have a moderator when we have a debate, so we'll try to keep the decorum. I'll talk with the brother Trevor and the brother Ash, man, my leader of my organization, man, and we'll see if we can get it set up. All right, Reggie.
Yeah, let's do it. Reggie wants to do it, and I assure you, when it comes to the debate, as you saw with Ash and Stacy, it's well under control. It's not, there's no, it's nothing's going to get out of hand. So,
Stacy ain't gonna want to debate. I mean, what's his name, Reggie? He ain't gonna want to debate you if you're gonna want to use a dictionary, though. He use a dictionary, fire guy. You know what I'm saying? So he gonna have to allow that, so that we not just leaning on what we think words mean, because we want to edify with our debates, right? We don't want to just have screaming matches for the sake of ego and I know more than you. It's about proving the things that we can and staying away from the things that we can't, so that we're not being a part of just throwing away misinformation. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to come in here and applaud you brothers for doing a good job, keeping it about the edification. And I wanted to thank Trevor in a public forum. Thank you for having us in here. And hopefully we can do other topics in the future. If people are curious about other topics, then we can visit some of those. But, you know, thank you. And then, you know, as for me, I'll see y'all on Saturday coming up. Azarayah, Yeshaya, you guys got it. All praises to the Most High.
So Ash, before you go, because you know the promoter in me I always got to do it. Will you or won't you debate Stacey Mobley? I see you going on. I see you going and calling out everybody in the world. But will you face Stacey Mobley again?
To be honest, man, look, I know I said this before, right? I know I said this before. My bad. That's an image I got from trolling these Christians, man. They don't, if I look too ethnic, they don't want to let me come in and deal. So I try to let me fix that. Stacy, man, I appreciate the brother's enthusiasm, but I do not. People are going to pick on me for picking on him in my community. They're gonna say, "Why did you waste your time?" So if and this is not me just saying it, but if you look at my comments and you look at interactions I have where I'm talking about entertaining him again, people's like, "Why waste your time?" So I figure, why not let him form Voltron or a Megazord with some other Christians, so that he could be my height in a debate. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I don't want the credibility, and I don't want the spectacle to be lost, and then the edification that's hidden in there to not get the traction that it should. So, for example, if I could get one God Logic, or if I could get a God Logic with a Radar Apologetics together, I'm gonna go for that. If I could get one God Logic, I'm gonna go for that over a Stacey Mobley. Why? Because that last day we had, it was cool, but I'm getting kind of criticized for even beating up on him after the deacon beat up on him. That's just so I've given him the opportunity to get a team together. He's already said that he would go ahead and go with what the audience wanted. And if we look in your posts, you'll see the votes say that they wanted the 2 to 3 verse 1. And then after Stacy agreed to let the audience decide, he backed out of it. So that's reason number 2, because he's not a man of his word.
So okay, so we'll deal with this Saturday. But the last thing I got to say, will you entertain Stacy come Saturday, if he just wants to have a dialogue with you?
It depends, man. It gotta be worth it, you know, because I just wanna, because I let him have his little time to do his counter debate. You know I came in there to visit. If he's not wasting time, then fine. You know, I think that's fun. Yeah.
Hey, Shaw.
I saw in the comments that Pastor Mobley, he said that he has one scripture that in this little nonsense about racism in the Torah. So I don't know if he's going to bring that out to me. You know, I was going to go about another 15 minutes and take some more questions, but maybe he'll hold that on for you.
We should. I definitely want to let you and Yeshaya get back to it, man, because you know, people need to know that if they want some edification from our perspective, y'all some good brothers to come to over at the Fire God main channel. So I'm not really here to promote what I got going on. Y'all tune in Saturday for that, and we can talk about some of those things. Anybody want to talk to me, just don't be on nonsense. We don't care about your agenda. We care about ours. That's the edifying of the Blacks, Hispanics, and the Native Americans, and waking up the other Israelites that are scattered to the four corners of the earth, period. We don't respect nothing else.
Hey, I got a question before you go, Osh.
No. I recognize you. I recognize your voice. No.
I know.
I already know you're not going to talk about racist tenets in the Torah. I know. I remember you. You're the preterist dude. You are some type of egomaniac. I've already psychoanalyzed you. I'm good.
That's good.
You have nothing to do with the Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans.
Well, that's not true. My wife is Hispanic.
Yeah, do her service and leave her alone.
Oh no, she wanted to marry me. Actually, she likes white boys.
I want a bunch of sugar and ride my teeth out. That don't mean it's the best.
Yeah, I know, right? Hey, are you part Filipino or something?
Wait, so y'all got history here? What's going on here?
I've talked to him before, and I like talking to him, and then he started to come off weird.
Yeah.
We've had interactions with him before.
Yeah. See, because y'all don't like full preterists because they destroy your doctrine. I get it.
So Ash, we'll see you Saturday. I want to finish out. I want to finish out with this brother here. So what's your name, brother? Because I can't see the full name on the on the avatar.
Truth and Telos Ministries is what I go by.
And what does that mean? Telos. What is that?
That's the Greek word in Revelation. Christ says, "I am the Telos." It's the goal.
Okay, I feel like I've heard you before. All right, what you got?
So yeah, I would agree that there is definitely racism in the Torah. It's a very Israel-centric part of the Bible. I mean, there are the mixed multitude that were allowed to partake in some of the feast days with Israel, so long as they proselyted. But the final 3 feast days were for Israel only. But I mean, it's definitely, God says that He chose Israel to be His servant. They were to be a type. The law is the schoolmaster, as Paul says. So I would agree with that. But where it falls short is even in the Torah itself. If we look at the Song of Moses, Deuteronomy 32, we are told that selection, Israel being that particular people that God had chosen for Himself, would come to an end. And at that time would be the time when the nations were to actually sing with Israel. So, I mean, that's inclusionary language. It was never meant to forever be segregated.
So, Cap, you care to respond to that? Because first of all, I've never heard a Caucasian fella. I mean, I saw him in the back, so I know he's a Caucasian dude. Agree to there being racism in the Torah. Like I never thought he was going to come up here and say that. So that kind of threw me for a loop there. But so go ahead, Cap.
Yeah, I mean, look, no, I'm not going to address his question because his question is not does not relate to racism in the Torah. He already yielded his ground by acknowledging that there are racist tenets in the Torah. So no, I'm not going to answer his question. Now, if he wants to come on another time and we talk about as his preterist believing that everything has been fulfilled, right? We can talk about that. Right, or another topic, but this topic here is on racism in the Torah, which he already yielded to. So I feel no need to acknowledge the scripture that he brought out.
One thing about these Fire God guys, y'all gotta learn. they're going to keep you in that straight line because I see Reggie tried to bring up Christ and like, nope, you got to stay right here. So, wow, that's one thing I realized.
In boxing, you want to stay in that pocket, right? That's what we're doing, right? And I'm a fighter for the Most High.
So, Truth and Talos, you got any more questions pertaining to the tonight's subject?
Yeah, I do actually. Then, if we have to, let me ask you this. So you're saying that this segregation is something that is supposed to be forever, and because it's in the Torah, right? So it's solidified as nothing can change that.
You're asserting that. That's not my assertion. That's not what this is about. We're talking about the Torah.
Yeah, but I asked you, is that what you believe?
It's not about what this debate or this topic is not about particularly what I believe. I believe that there's racism in the Torah, and that's what this topic is on. So yes, I believe there is racist tenets in the Torah.
Okay, and they're going to forever be like that? It's forever about segregation?
Again, I'm going to answer the question again. That's not what this topic is about. You're trying to expand it to something that is not, to try to bring me into something that we're not dealing with. When you first came here, when you first came up here, right, you were told that this is about the Torah. But you know what? Because I want to get to the next person. Yes, it does extend forever, right?
Okay.
Why? Let me finish. Why? Because the Most High don't change. That's simple. Does the Most High change?
You know what? He doesn't change, but that doesn't change the fact that he already established that he would do something different.
Thank you. So he don't change. Exactly. Mm-hmm. My point made. So he prescribed it and he don't change. He said, that's why you sons of Israel and Malachi, that's why you're not destroyed, because I don't change. If I did change, I would have destroyed you. Like I said I was. I told Moses to get out the way and I'll destroy this people and make me a new people. But he swore by his own name, right, that he wouldn't do that.
Right.
So,
yeah, he kept that righteous remnant from the...
Okay. So, Mr. Preterist, I've answered your question, but I'm going to give room because I got about, if the brother Trevor will give me, I'm going to go about 5 to 10 more minutes.
All right. Wait, can I just ask one more question and then I'll bounce out? And it has to do with that topic. So in Deuteronomy 23, verse 1, God says that somebody who has severed genitals or crushed genitals, i.e. a eunuch, would never be able to join the assembly of God. Huh?
Yeah, somebody who's wounded in the stones. But this topic is not about sacrifice. All right, that's what the context of Deuteronomy chapter 23. It starts with the man who's wounded in the stones, whether or not he can come into the congregation to make sacrifice. Right. And it goes on to describing to Ammon and Moab, right? Into other nations, whether or not they'll be allowed to offer and bring sacrifice to the temple. So that's not what this is about.
Yeah, no, I know that it's not about that. But like,
sir, no, we're not going to do that. You don't get special treatment. If you have a question on racism in the Torah, please ask that question.
I guess not. I guess I agreed with you guys that there is definitely segregation.
This is the third time, if I'm not mistaken, he's asked a question that's not about the topic. All right, and we let you slide. I've answered the questions that don't even pertain to racism in the Torah.
Yeah, well, I'll be on Captain Azarayah tonight, proving your doctrine false all over again. So maybe you guys can tune in. Thank you.
Shout out to Captain Azarayah.
Shout out.
He brings you up and fillets you real good, Mr. Preterist. You'll tuck your tail in between your legs and you'll run. See, this is the thing. No matter how nice, shout out to my brother Deacon of Genesis. No matter how nice y'all trying to come up, look how you trying to take shots at one of my fellow brothers. That the devil horns start poking through the dog wig. You can't control yourself. You're like an animal. You got no control. So we're gonna move.
I'm gonna be on Captain Tazariak.
Exactly.
All right, so what let me what is a preterist? I never heard that before.
I believe that Christ already returned in AD 70 and not all the Bible
That's
has
what
been
I
fulfilled.
said, bro. The whole Bible's been fulfilled. It's ridiculous.
Huh?
Maybe. I don't know. I got a really nice presentation for Captain Tazariak tonight, so maybe you guys can watch it.
Man, listen, I got Stacy. I'll let you know about next Thursday. I gotta see because I know the brother Juan is supposed to do something on the 20th, so we may be able to do something next Thursday. Man, I'm curious to hear that now because I don't want to but you bring up Captain Azarayah and Stacy beat him up pretty good a couple of times, so it's just crazy that y'all kind of discrediting Stacy. I mean I watched it with my own eyes, man. He beat him up a couple of times, man. So it's all good though. But so let's do this because hold on. Reggie has why did Cap quote Malachi if he's only supposed to stay in the Torah?
Because the question presented to me was outside of the Torah. And I said that when I brought that up. I said he's asked questions that are outside of the tenets of racism in the Torah.
I guess he's saying because you wouldn't let him go to Jeremiah.
Well, I was answering that as far as to the preterist, right? Because he was asking, does this go on what's prescribed in the Torah? Did it go on forever? And yes, it does.
That's a crazy name, man. The preterist. That's a little too close. I never heard that name before. Never.
Yeah, it's just like in language, it's a tense called the preterite tense. It just means past.
Okay.
Like a past tense, the preterism.
So you believe everything has already been fulfilled?
Yes, sir.
All right, interesting. Send me an email, straighttalkwithtrevor@gmail.com.
Hey, before he go, can I ask him a question?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm very interested in hearing this. Go ahead.
No, it ain't nothing big. Have you ever heard?
Hey, Yeshua, real quick before you go, last thing too for Reggie. And I could have stayed in the Torah to prove that God don't lie or he don't change. All right. Because it says that in the Torah that God is not a man that he should lie. All right. So if I needed to stay in the Torah, I could with that. Go ahead.
I was going to ask, have you ever heard Tazariak say body bag?
All the time.
I yield.
Hey, stop my young hitter.
All right, so we're gonna because pretty much everybody in the chat is agreeing with you guys. Mommy's on the way home. Everybody's pretty much agreeing with you guys. Tony Lissette has some type of beef with Stacy. I don't know what's going on with that. But hey, listen, like I said, fantastic presentation. I always appreciate when you guys actually put something on paper and take the time, because YouTube is a visual medium, so it's better to have it there so everybody can see it. So I pride myself in doing PowerPoint presentations when I was debating. So for the record, so you hear me ask the Cap questions. I do the same thing with Stacy. I do the same thing with Jackie. Like, because I don't agree with everything they say. So I question them a lot. A lot of times my questioning of them is off air because that's when we talk the most. But so it's not me just saying like, oh man, let me pick on the brother. No, that's not it. That's not it at all.
Fair and unbiased is the brother Trevor here at Straight Talk. I've talked to him on air now. I've talked to him off air a couple of times, and I can say the same way he questioned me here is the same way he questioned us off air. There's no difference. Like the scriptures say with the Most High, there's no shadow of turning. This guy is solid. He's always the same.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I don't change. At the end of the day, man, everybody's seeking out truth. I always end all my shows saying, always seek out the truth, because that's what we're all here for. So go ahead and give your close out, because there's nobody else up on the stage. So y'all can go ahead and give me close out. Make sure and subscribe to the Fire God channel. I know Keelan put it in there earlier. It is up top. And this Saturday, me and Ash will be, having a little conversation at 3 my time, Eastern time. And it's really just going to be a conversation. He's just going to be calling out Christians. So Truth and Thalos, make sure you come by. And I think he's going to open up the panel if anybody wants to come on and ask any questions. So Stacy actually wants to do a rebuttal to your presentation tonight. So look for that.
I'll be on the lookout for that, Pastor Stacy. Fantastic.
That'll probably be. Hey, Bones, I see that you left me a message, man, but I'm on air, so I haven't had a chance to check it yet. But yeah, Cap, hey, fantastic presentation, man. Again, like I said, I get where you're coming from. I've had this conversation with Ash before. I get it. I know exactly what you're saying. I lean more to the side of you saying favoritism over race, only because I know what we say race is today. Because today, when you say somebody's race is to them is black, white. That's all they care. Like, that's it. But race to me goes so much further. So I get. Oh, shout out to Eddie Israel in the building. Yeah, you dropped the men of God. They'll be going live tomorrow night also. So yeah, I thought a fantastic presentation, man. So go ahead and give your close out, man, so we can get out of here. I gotta get on daddy duty.
Hey, me too. I gotta go be dad and husband right now. All right. Again, thank you, everybody, man, for coming over here to Straight Talk with Trevor. Again, shout out to you, big brother, for allowing me on your platform to give this presentation. Lord willing, it was edifying to everybody who had a chance to hear it. Lord willing, we answered any questions. Lord willing, there's another opportunity to come back on here with Trevor and for me to answer questions, maybe not just on this topic, but on other topics as well. We're looking forward to that because here at the Fire of God, we like to edify. Again, I'm your brother, Captain Azarayah of the organization Fire of God Hebrew Israelite. That's where you can find us on YouTube. You can find me on Facebook at Azarayah bin Yahawada. All right, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to this channel right here. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to my brother Osh channel. I want to say peace and blessings to everybody, and I look forward to coming back, brother Trevor. Thank you.
Most definitely, man. The door is always open. You know, the preachers say the door to church is open. It's always open here, man. Because I have no affiliations with anybody. I just I like to hear different perspectives of all things. And just like Ash, I'll tell y'all decorum is fantastic. I've seen it all, and I think some Israelites had the most disgusting behavior in the world. But when I see you guys, I'm like, oh man, I could deal with these guys. So I appreciate you guys for respecting the platform enough. But like I said, with Reggie, that's how he brings it, man. He is one of the few Christians that bring that fire. Like that's just how he is. That's just how it is. Right. Hey, he's a champ. He's a champ for a reason.
No. And look, I feel you, man. The champ gotta have a chip on his shoulder. The champ gotta have an edge until he get dethroned. Hey, look, brother Reggie, I'm coming for the belt, man. Don't make me come up the top rope, you know what I mean? Right? And then drop the people elbow like my homeboy The Rock, all right? Hit you with the rock bottom. All right, but all praises. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, fellas. And peace to you, brother Yeshaya. Again, just decorum, young guy, man, because you know when they look at us, they're like, oh my God, these are thugs and criminals. But you guys are spitting Bible scriptures, man. So that's fantastic. That's fantastic. And I will say, Ash, he's building a good team over there. So I like that. I really like that. So you guys keep doing what you're doing. Anything you need from me, just reach out to me, man, and we could do this again. Platform is always open.
Can I say this last thing just real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
I just definitely want to yield with this. When you go into Deuteronomy 7, that 1-5, and then when you equate that to Nehemiah 13, it shows you that the Most High is not dealing with other nations. It shows you, and then once you go down to 6, it'll show you that he has a treasure, his favorite necklace, his favorite diamonds, right? That he put on that nobody else can put on.
Yeah.
He chose them. And that's Israel. That's us as the people. I just wanted to demonstrate that to show you that there is racism. And then when it goes into that, again, we read the word kindred. So it does show racism. It does show race. And even though you might not equate race to today's time, even back then, the Most High equated that to today's time when it comes to race. Because he separated the races of people. And he chose his own necklace, his own diamond. You know what I mean? His apple of his eye. So race, we don't use it as RACE, but we definitely use that as his own special possession.
Right. And last thing, I'm going to just piggyback the brother Yeshai. This is the last thing we're going to say because I do got to go. But if we expand and we talk about racism looking forward, looking outside of the Torah, I'm going to tell you, it gets even worse because there's some scriptures outside of the Torah in the Tanakh that are nailed in this coffin. All right. But that's another story for another day. So once again, big brother Trevor, appreciate you allowing us the opportunity to bring forth this information. Lord willing, it was edifying. Peace and blessings to everybody.
All right. Peace, fellas. Adrian, I don't know. You said that you sent me. What am I doing here? You said that you sent me a thing about somebody named William Bell. I don't know who that is. I don't know. I need to get a new number for stuff like this because I don't want people calling me that don't already have my number. So, but again, man, peace to Fire God, man. They came through with the decorum, first of all, which I appreciate. To the brother, I call him brother. I know y'all probably don't think of him as your brother. Truth and Thalos, send me an email at straighttalkwithtrevor@gmail.com. I'm interested. I'm very interested in what you say, what you got to say. So it's funny how Israelites talk good and bad from. Wait, hold on. Let me see what Tony Lissette says. Hold on. It's funny how Israelites take the good, the bad, and the ugly from the Bible, but Christians only want the good. Hey, that's why you got to point some of the stuff out. I mean, just full transparency. I reached out to somebody. I won't say anything until he agrees to do it. Because if not, I'm going to end up doing it myself. But I want to do a series about does God condone homosexuality and homosexuality. The word isn't in the Bible, but I could point to every teaching in the Bible that's against it. So that's how I feel about the race thing. The word race isn't there, but if I could take you to when the word came up, which was the 16th century, and what it meant at the time, and then you could show me in the Bible that it ties to that word, then I mean I gotta listen. So that's how I say over here, man. Sometimes we gotta use a little sense. The word Trinity isn't in the Bible, but if you could show a Trinitarian doctrine in the scriptures, then at least the least we could do is listen. So so that's where we are with that. But like I said, man, I am back. Probably won't be doing stuff every week because listen, man, my work schedule is crazy. I go to work at 5 and I'm sometimes not getting home till 6. So sometimes that's over 12 hours a day. So I don't want to overdo it, but when the time does present itself, we'll definitely get it going. Cause you guys know that Thursdays are my favorite night. So Stacy, if you're still listening, either way, I'll reach out to you tomorrow. Looks like we could probably do the 13th. So he wants to rebut tonight's presentation. And he also wants to smoke with Ash. So he's going to keep going at him. So, hey, man, appreciate everybody that came over, man. Shout out to everybody that came over, especially big shout out to the Fire God. Y'all make sure and go check them out. And we'll see you guys tomorrow night, because tomorrow night there is a UFC event coming up. So the MMA brothers will be doing their thing tomorrow night. Then Saturday, I have the interview with Ash And then Sunday is the Super Bowl. So that's Reggie's Philadelphia Eagles. Hopefully they could pull it out, man. But hey, with all that being said, I'm out of here. I got to go be daddy right now. I will see you guys on the other side. And I leave you with these words. Always seek out the truth for yourself, because if not, you'll fall victim to other people's interpretations of them. Peace.
Come take a walk through my heart, a stroll through my soul. Been smart from the start, wasn't taught, wasn't told. You could climb through my mind, or fly through my eye. And in time you will find what I rhyme is not a lie. Come take a walk through my heart, a stroll through my soul. Been smart from the start, wasn't taught, wasn't told. You could climb through my mind, or fly through my eye. And in time you will find